Let's talk about Pakistan now. It is fighting a war too, a war against the Pakistani Taliban, and Rawalpindi is losing this battle. It is struggling to contain the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the TTP, the Pakistani Taliban. These terrorists are making advances thanks to the US. Let me explain. You may remember America's hasty exit from Afghanistan. They left behind military equipment worth billions. These were weapons in possession of the civilian government. When it collapsed, they fell into the hands of the Taliban, and now those same weapons have reached the Pakistani Taliban. The TTP is using these American weapons against Pakistan's military forces. Pakistani soldiers are struggling to counter them. What kind of weapons do these terrorists have? Modern and sophisticated military equipment, things like night vision devices, advanced weapons, thermal weapon sights. The TTP is conducting nighttime ambushes. The province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa witnessed many of them recently. Terrorists are taking out policemen. In 2022, 118 police officers died in such attacks. Pakistani military camps have been targeted too. A local police officer shared an assessment. I have it with me. This is what he said. By using night vision devices, TTP militants can see easily and target police personnel performing their duties in the dark, while policemen cannot see them coming. The TTP has many more modern weapons in its arsenal. Some photographs have emerged. This is believed to be propaganda from the TTP, the Pakistani Taliban. You can see the terrorists holding practice sessions here. And what kind of military equipment do they have? Again, these are American weapons like M24 sniper rifles, M4 carbines, rifles, rocket launchers, submachine guns. These terrorists are now as well equipped as any military. For Pakistan, the beast they fed is coming back to bite them. The Pakistani state has armed terrorists for years, remember. They nurtured the Taliban, kept it alive and enabled its comeback. Now those same terrorists are striking back. The TTP pledges allegiance to the Taliban in Afghanistan. They're using the Afghan soil to launch attacks on Pakistan. The vicious cycle continues. It was set in motion by the Americans. They recruited Pakistan in the late 1970s. The Soviets, remember, had invaded Afghanistan. The Americans armed Pakistan to counter Soviet Russia. It armed the Mujahideen. When the Soviets left, the armed Mujahideen morphed into the Taliban. In the next 2 decades, more weapons were pumped into Afghanistan. America fought a war that it lost. And those same weapons are now in the hands of terrorists. They're not just a threat for Pakistan, they're a threat for India too and the rest of the world. Reports say American weapons found their way into Kashmir as well, the Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Terrorists there are using American weapons. So American weapons are fueling more conflicts. And it's not like the US has not suffered the consequences, but it continues to sell more weapons. A new report has come out, in fact. It says America was a top arms seller in 2022, and it has strengthened its position. Let's, in fact, look at the global arms exports. Earlier, America's share in this market was 33%. Now it has grown to 40%. It's an increase of 7%. As expected, the surge is due to the war in Ukraine. It is driving up weapons sales, especially in Europe. Europe's imports of major arms have shot up by 47%. So the US is the clear beneficiary. Russia, meanwhile, is losing out. Russia's share has fallen from 22% to 16%, again due to the war in Ukraine. And these numbers will rise in the foreseeable future. After Afghanistan, the American war machine needed a new conflict. It has found one in Ukraine.